this video, we'll be looking at how to understand the tabbed journal. We'll be covering viewing the journal tabs, how to filter using the journal, searching within the journal, and amending the visibility of record entries. If you need to look into the patient's history, the journal contains all the consultations and data that has been added. You can access the journal through the clinical tree. Look for the tabbed journal. You may also have an option here for new journal instead or as well. You could use this, but the tabbed journal has additional filter functionality which you may find useful. Using the tabbed journal, you can see every entry into the patient's notes. You can scroll upwards to go back in towards the patient's history. Patients with long histories will have their records divided into pages. Click here to move back further into the record. Each entry is identified with a time and a date stamp, as well as the user who entered the data and where they did that. There are two key ways to filter the information on this screen so that you can find it useful and not excessive. The first is the tabs. The tabs here are used to divide the data based on where it was recorded. Local data is information added by your organisation. GP data was added by any GP unit. The Community tab here will show you data added by community services, and so on. The Everything tab will show all of the data recorded in date order. You may have fewer or additional tabs, as they can be configured by your system administrator locally and by individual users. System administrators can manage these tabs through Organisation Preferences in the Clinical Policy folder, Tabbed Journal. You can add and remove tabs for everybody at your unit here. On the other hand, individuals can simply click the plus icon to add their own tabs. Here you can build a tab to filter the journal by any of these criteria. For example, if I want to see the last time I saw the patient, I will set up a tab for myself that only shows data added by specific staff members, and I will add myself to this list. This tab is now available to me no matter which computer I use or which patient I look at while I work at this organisation. As well as the tabs, it may be that there is still too much information on the screen to make sense of it quickly. To make some adjustments, you can simply build custom filters to hide information that is not relevant to you. Click here to build a filter, and then you can untick any record entries from this list that you do not want to see. The new filter can be applied from this drop-down list, and you can use any combination of tabs and filters until the record displays in the most efficient way to work for you. If you are looking for specific entries such as codes or keywords, you can use this search box. Just type the word in here and press Enter to see every instance of this word in your patient's record. You could search again with another keyword, or clear the search by clicking the X icon here to get back to the full record. This should save you a lot of time. When looking at journal entries, you may see consultations that should not be visible to the patient through System Online. Simply highlight the entry and click here to hide this from the patient's online view. Note that the icon has now appeared in the flag column here to indicate that this entry is now hidden from the patient using System Online. Similarly, you may decide that this entry should be kept private to within this organisation and not shared along with the System One record sharing functionality. Highlight the entry in question, click this icon here, and you can now mark the entry as private. Now your immediate colleagues can still see the entry, but staff at other organisations and units cannot, even if they can access the rest of the shared record. Again, a flag is added next to the consultation entry. Other staff will only see this icon appearing in the demographics box so that they know some data is missing from the record.